Questers. It is 6 o'clock on a Monday, at least where I am, and we are heading into another week, right? So it's goal time. Go time, goal time. So, what are we going to do this week, right? The possibilities may seem endless, and that might seem overwhelming at times, right? We look at this large list of things that we want to get done, and or our brain is pulled in many different directions. So, how do we decide? Like, what do I focus on? Where do I go from here? What am I going to do this week? Right. If you're going to go running, you got to get your shoes on, right? If you're going to go work out, you got to get to the gym or to your living room. You got to get down, start doing those push ups. So, how do we achieve our goals? Well, it usually starts with one little step, and it takes focus and sticking to it, right? Now, focus is a funny thing, right? It's easy to be like, well, just focus on it. But when it comes down to it, like focus is just one of those hard things where um, I think it takes a lot of like training and um, interest to keep you focused, right? If you're interested in something, generally you're going to be focused on it. So as you guys look at your goals this week, as you guys design your games, as you do your creative projects, what interests you? What excites you? Right? Because those are the things, or what are the things you care about? Those are the things that are going to stick with you and that you can stick with, that you can stay focused on. And that might seem very utilitarian, very, I don't know, postmodern, like how you feel. Because there's another aspect of game design where you get to a certain point and you have to push that last 90 or that last 10%, that last 1%. You got to push through that. And at that point, maybe the interest isn't as fiery as it was at the beginning. Um, and sometimes what I found what really helps is as I was working on Merchant Kings, I'd get to a point where I was just like, that fire doesn't quite seem there. And I would then listen to another podcast about the Bronze Age, and I would get excited about, whoa, this is why I fell in love with this concept of creating a Bronze Age merchant game that happens in the Bronze Age Mediterranean, and do something like that. Well, listen to a podcast about board gaming that is positive and inspiring, and something like that just kind of brings you back to, well, why did you start this project in the first place? All right. Now, let's get down to it. There's my little pep talk. What am I doing this week? Well, um, I am getting closer and closer to getting my painting done for my brother, who asked me to do some painting for his uh, Lord of the Rings miniatures game. So I've got to get that done, get it shipped back to him, and so that he can hopefully use these models in his upcoming game. I think it's near the end of November. He has a game scheduled. So excited for that. Try to get that done. Some other things. I got given a game by another game designer who kind of got to the point where he's like, this is beyond me. And so he's like, I just want to get this game done. Would you help me develop and design and finish this game? So I got to get that game to the table again. I got it to the table once last week. I got to get it to the table again this week and get it done. Right. Those are my goals. Hold me to those. Right. That's what this is about. Um, Other things, right? Today, I'm going to be recording a podcast with another fellow here on school who designed a game of his own. and was has been very successful with this game. Right, it has a really high rating on BGG. I think it's called Kyperium. If I get that wrong, I got that wrong. I don't know if I got that wrong. Kyperium seems right because I think it's kind of talking about the Kuiper galaxy, and so with a Purium side of things. So it's, anyways, we'll be talking about that. We'll get to know more about that. That's just kind of your teaser. We're going to be doing this little podcast together where we're going to go over some sort of like the process of going through designing a game from soup to nuts. And if you guys don't know what that sounds like, kind of a weird term. Soup to nuts is basically back in the day when you were cooking a meal. Um, yeah, the meal would start with soup and it would end with nuts. And so from the beginning to the end, we're going to look at how this process of board game design works and kind of give you guys just kind of like the insights that he has of designing a successful game, highly rated on BGG. He's actually working on the um, uh, second print run of it. So I guess edition two. And so that'll be really cool to talk to this guy and really get to. I'm excited to get to know him as well because right last week we talked about board games are about relationships. So it's time to build some of those relationships. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and I hope this is encouraging. Go out there and get those big ideas on paper, conceptualize them, make a prototype, play it, play test it, keep play testing it, figure out what's wrong with it, fix what's wrong with it. Um, I don't really, anyway, guys, I'm here to help. Right? The guys in the school group, we're here to help. Right? There's some people in the skill group, this school group, higher level of experience than I am, and um, and so I'm going to go to those guys and be like, hey, like I gotten to this point and I can't figure out what's next, um, and uh, be that to the people who are coming along in this journey. So, anyways, thanks for tuning in. I think I kind of rambled there at the end a little bit, but hey, keep doing those big dreams questers. Get out there.